Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on DC TV and the Arrowverse because it's some more Crisis on Infinite Earth stuff. So we are only a couple of days away from Crisis on Infinite Earths returning to our screens with the final two parts, which are of course the Arrow and Legend of Tomorrow portions of the big crossover event. With these two episodes playing back to back on the same night, so it's almost going back to like a Crisis on Earth X sort of thing. But in this video I thought I would recap the first three parts of the crossover, or the first half of the Crisis event, because as we should all know, they did use the cliffhanger at the end of part 3, which then leads into a month break for the Paragons, to then have a break for us, the audience, for a month as well. So let's get refreshed on what went down, what happened, and then get us excited for what's to come in the final parts. But of course, throughout the video, be sure to let me know your favorite parts from these or your favorite bits or something from these opening parts and stuff like that, and any theories and stuff you want to see maybe play out in these final two parts that are going to hit us in just around 48 hours from now. So let me know all of that in the comment section down below. And of course, you're going to enjoy the video and you're looking forward to the final portions of Crisis. Want to drop a like on the video to show support and excitement and hype. And just a quick reminder, I will be live streaming most likely 24 hours from now roughly, which will be the day before Crisis, and then on the day of Crisis I'll be streaming another couple of hours before that starts on Tuesday, so keep your eyes out for those. We'll be going just through everything, previewing Crisis, getting excited for it, and so keep your eyes out for that. So the Crisis crossover event started on Supergirl. That was part 1, with that episode starting with this big wave of antimatter raging across the multiverse, with us getting to see a bunch of various cameos from various Earths in the multiverse as they are then decimated by this big antimatter wave. So we get to see Alexander Knox from Earth 89, Dick Grayson from Earth 66, the Ray from Earth X, and of course the Titans from Earth 9. Big dub for me, big L for the haters. These were the Earths we saw get destroyed, with Earth 38 then appearing to be the next on the target list, if you want to call it, or the hit list. Now, Lila Michaels in her new role as Harbinger, which was finally achieved and showed to us in the Hour episode leading up to Crisis, meets and also teleports Oliver Queen, Mia Smoke, Clark Kent and Lois Lane from Earth 38, Kate Kane, Barry Allen, Sarah Lance and Ray Palmer to the DEO headquarters on Earth 38, where they then are told what's going on, then also come up with a plan to evacuate that Earth with Supergirl and her team. So we do get a pretty lengthy action scene towards the end of the episode, which takes place over a couple of areas where the group battles the Anti-Monitor's Shadow Demons, which are basically the faceless goons, if you want to call them, but they don't battle the big boy himself. That's for later on. But they are taking on the Shadow Demons to protect the tower that's keeping Earth 38 at bay from the antimatter wave, which ultimately isn't successful, and as the antimatter wave is descending upon Earth 38, our heroes are outnumbered and overpowered, forcing the Monitor to step in to retrieve them and save them for the next battle, because this battle was completely lost. Oliver, however, stays behind and sacrifices himself to save as many people as he possibly can before Earth 38 is swallowed by the antimatter, which is then revealed to be another billion people that he ends up saving. And as we cut to the Arrow bunker right towards the end of the episode on Earth 1, we see Oliver, pass away surrounded by his daughter Mia and his fellow heroes as well. F's in the chat for Oliver. But as we head into part 2 of the Crisis crossover, which is the Batwoman episode for the event, we see the heroes reeling from Oliver's death and dealing with it and just the fallout from it, with this episode pretty much being the Paragon hunt, if you want to call it, as we learn who the 7 Paragons are that will be the ones in charge of saving the multiverse. Now, one of the side missions, if you want to call it, in this episode shows Mia, Sarah, and Barry getting the help of none other than John Constantine in order to resurrect Oliver through a Lazarus pit lying somewhere around the multiverse, because there's none really left on Earth 1, so it's pretty much about picking and choosing the best one to go to from the multiverse. Now this actually leads to a quick Jonah Hex cameo, which was a nice surprise, I guess you could say. Now Oliver is revived, but of course, as we've learnt with past experiences with the good old Lazarus pit, he's revived without his soul. Now the hunt for the Paragons leads us to a variety of different Earths and meeting a variety of different characters, as well as dealing with a mischievous Lex Luthor with his hands on the Book of Destiny, which had been regathered by the Monitor from the time stream, which was revealed towards the beginning of the episode. Now throughout the hunt for the Paragons, if you want to call it, we do get to revisit the Smallville version of Clark Kent or Superman on Earth 167, who we find out has actually given up his powers completely in order to have a family with Lois Lane, appearing to be happier than ever Happier Than Ever, sorry, which, it was a big controversial thing, I guess you could say. Some people loved it, some people hated it. I was in the portion that loved it, but I know some people that hated it, which is fine. But this all leads us to the true paragon that we were after, which was the Kingdom Come Superman on Earth 96, which is Brandon Routh's Superman, continuing on the Christopher Reeve's legacy, who, after a short brainwashed fight, if you want to call it, with the Earth 38 Superman, is officially brought on as the paragon of truth. Now, Kara and Kate also visit Earth 99, where we saw a future and broken down pretty much like villainous take on Batman, pretty much a Batman that's just taken it too far, and the events of this lead to Kate being donned the Paragon of Courage by the end of the episode. Now, as we end off this episode, the list of paragons at the moment are Barry, who is the Paragon of Love, Sarah is the Paragon of Destiny, Kara is the Paragon of Hope, J'onn J'onzz is the Paragon of Honor, and Kingdom Come is the Paragon of Truth, and obviously, as I said, Kate is the Paragon of Courage, with there being one left to find, which happens next episode. Now, the cliffhanger for this episode was Harbinger being taken over and recruited by the Anti-Monitor. Now, this scene sort of serving as like the first look at the character in the crossover as well. And this all leads us into the final part that we have seen so far, that being the Flash episode of the Crisis event. Now we get to travel to Earth 666 with the characters of Mia Smoke, John Constantine, and John Diggle as they seek help with getting back Oliver's soul, and this is where we actually encounter Lucifer Morningstar, who gives him a ticket, I guess you could call it, to Purgatory, in the form of Lian Yu, where we do come across Oliver again. However, in a bit of a surprising twist, he refuses to come back to allow his soul to return, and this is just due to the current Spectre, that being Jim Corrigan, telling Oliver that he must serve a higher purpose, setting up the events for the final parts that we're going to be seeing very soon. Now, we also do see the introduction and recruitment of the final Paragon, that of course being the Paragon of Humanity, who is that of Ryan Choi. Now, Ryan is actually recruited by Iris West, Ray Palmer, and Ralph Dibny as they headed to Ivy Town to find him. Now, Cisco Ramon is all of a sudden given back his vibe powers and abilities by the Monitor in Part 3 after having, them taken away towards the end of last season. Willingly, he wanted to get rid of them, with the Monitor saying that they will serve a purpose, which they indeed do, as he does use his newly reacquired vibe powers to locate the source of the antimatter wave, which is in the same area that Nash Wells was taken to in the end credits scene, if you want to call it, for all the shows in the week leading up to Crisis. Now, as we enter this area, we find a pretty much imprisoned or enslaved Earth 90 Flash, who we had last seen in the Elseworlds crossover last season, and it is at this point as well that we learn that when the Monitor sent him away last season, he was actually captured by the Anti-Monitor and was used to pretty much power the antimatter cannon by running on this treadmill that's located in this like sort of area. Now, Black Lightning also shows up at this point shortly after being taken away from his Earth, as it was eaten up by antimatter at the end of their last episode. Now, due to the Earth 90 Flash being removed from the treadmill, it does actually activate a failsafe of sorts, which requires someone to make a sacrifice. Of course, our Earth 1 Flash steps up to make the sacrifice, but has his speed stolen by the Earth 90 Flash, who then goes on to give up his own life in order to destroy the antimatter cannon. But this is where things hit the oh damn, we screwed now portion of the event, as we see Harbinger return to the Wave Rider, where all of our heroes are now situated, but something's up, something's not right, she isn't acting normal, and this is when the heroes find out that Anti-Monitor has taken control over her, and a battle between herself and the Monitor ensues, which ultimately leads to the Monitor being killed, which isn't too surprising due to him being weakened constantly throughout the event as the Anti-Monitor got stronger and gained more power by destroying parts of the multiverse. Now, the death of the Monitor then ultimately leads on to the last remaining Earth in the multiverse, that being Earth 1, being eaten up by the antimatter wave before heading onto the Wave Rider, where our heroes are located and completely destroying them. We slowly see them, I guess, get dusted or wiped from existence. However, Pariah is able to use his abilities to teleport the Paragons away to safety outside of the restraints of the multiverse to the Vanishing Point, which had been seen previously in a couple of seasons of Legends of Tomorrow in the past. Now, of course, we think that is the last big thing to go down, but all of a sudden, the Kingdom Come Superman drops to the floor in pain and starts like glowing red almost, and has his place taken by Lex Luthor, who we find out had used the Book of Destiny to take his place as a Paragon, and that is where we are left until the final parts of Crisis on Infinite Earths, which of course hit our screens in around 48 hours from now. So yeah, guys, that's Crisis so far. Obviously, I didn't include every single thing that happened because I didn't want to make this video 47.2 minutes long. It would have been way too long if I just basically recapped the entire crossover from beginning to end. But there's all the major parts and everything you need to know heading into these final parts. And it should be interesting to see how they all wrap it up and everything like that. I'm excited to see how they do it and what happens moving forward with the Arrowverse as well. But thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show support. Let me know in the comment section down below your favorite parts from these opening 3 episodes, and of course what you're looking forward to the most in the conclusion episodes as well. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.